Greetings, YouTube. Ziara Makardo, while stopping for coffee in Hawaii in uniform, spoke Spanish on a private conversation on a phone. See, she's an airman in the U.S. Air Force. Not on base, not doing her daily job. She's just picking up coffee while in uniform and spoke Spanish on the phone. A white woman took umbrage at this and accosted her verbally for being disrespectful to America for speaking Spanish while in America. Spanish, a language that was native to parts of this country before it became America, a language that existed on this continent before America did. Being bitched about by a white woman standing in Hawaii, a country that we invaded, deposed their noble line, and eventually assimilated into the United States. So tell me, angry white lady, do you speak Hawaiian? Are you disrespecting the place you're standing in because you don't? What was that? You don't speak Hawaiian. I, for one, am shocked. Now, I don't have a problem with an airman speaking Spanish while on the phone at a coffee shop on the way to work, on the way home from work. I don't think it's an issue. She isn't on duty representing the United States of America in that context. She's just going from point A to point B. I see people in uniform all the damn time in restaurants and in public. One day I walked into a Panera Bread and the place was like a quarter of the people there were in uniform. They were apparently weekend warriors of some variety. They definitely weren't regulars, not from the looks of their shoes. But they all had uniforms, and they were all wearing those properly. Just their boots were not all regulation, I can tell you that. It was okay. They just did their thing, mostly which entailed eating and playing on their phones, and like the rest of us, eating and playing on our phones. And I didn't feel the urge to bitch about any of it. Even if I oppose what the military does 90% of the time. I'm not going to take it out on them. They're the pointy end of the stick. I'm not going to bitch about them. I'm going to bitch about the guys holding the other end. And bitching about an airman just picking up coffee because they dared to speak Spanish, that takes some real white privilege balls there. It sure does. And I'm not shocked in the least that it was said by an angry white woman who seemed to use phones like defense mechanisms. It's quite amazing and sad. So, mysterious white lady out there, if you're standing in Hawaii, maybe you should learn Hawaiian. Or stop bitching about being in a foreign country. Because at one time where you were standing was before it was assimilated into America. And the language wasn't English. And there are parts of America today that used to speak Spanish exclusively because they didn't belong to America at that time. And the language existed on this continent before America did. So maybe you shouldn't bitch about that either. And lastly, we don't have an official language in America. English is the most common language. It's the most dominant language. But you know what number 2 is? Spanish. And I don't speak Spanish. I occasionally can pronounce the names and the words properly, but I don't speak Spanish. But I don't disrespect someone just because they do. I don't think they're being disrespectful because they decide to speak a language they were born with. So shelve your white privilege there, lady. Unclench your panties and relax.